Benita. Bravissima, bro. Wow. Listen, guys. The theme today, we're going to talk about you can't save people. Okay? And oh, wow. Here's the thing. Apparently, just found this out today. Therapy. I didn't even know. I mean, I knew I had like a hunch, but I had never been given. I don't know why it helps so much to like know that you're just a statistic. Because otherwise it feels like you're the only one in the world and that your problems are so convoluted. And even though I kind of hate the idea of labeling people and like giving people diagnoses and like this is the category that you're in, like obviously your humanity is so much bigger than that, and the reasons why you do what you do are still who you are. Like it doesn't mean that that's not who you are, but sometimes putting a name on the thing, like getting a diagnosis, not a diagnosis, but like diagnosing what it is, or like, hey, like this is cancer or, cancer of the soul. Like this is the disease that you have. This is what the name for it is. It means that there's a treatment and it means that it can be solved. And it's so relieving. J'adore. You mean I don't know why, but I love, tell me, what are my problems? Tell me, I'll fix it. Yeah, I'll solve it. So today I've come on here to talk about something that has been a big theme in my life forever. My entire life. With my friendships, with my family, with my professional relationships, with my romantic relationships, with random strangers on the street, with everything. Okay? Fucking everything. Okay. And I'm going to try to make this not personal so that it's actually helpful to other people. But my point is, you can't save people who don't want to be saved. You can't save anyone, number one. Like you can't save people who don't want to be saved. Okay? Fuck. Okay. So how to explain this? I'll give a personal story from way back when. The only person on this earth, unless you're somebody's parent, that you are responsible for is yourself. Okay? And that's separate from being negligent of your friendships and like being there for your friends and like uplifting your friends. That's separate. Trying to save people means putting responsibility on your own shoulders, taking the responsibility away from that individual, whether it be a family member or whoever, okay? It takes the responsibility off their shoulders and makes you somehow feel responsible for somebody else's choices in their lives, okay? And you have to come to terms with the fact that people are individual folks, whatever the reasons may be for the choices that they are making. Ultimately, they are their own choices, and if you see something that it's so clear and so obvious for you to be like, this is this thing, and if you didn't do that thing, just listen to me and you would be fine, right? Some people haven't learned their lesson, and you can't learn somebody else's lesson for them. You fucking can't. Number one, it's totally draining for you to try. And number two, it could almost become the attempt at saving them could almost become the thing that pushes them further into the thing that you're trying to prevent or you're trying to make happen, right? Because people need to make their own choices and like feel autonomy over themselves. And I know this because I'm this way, right? I used to be, when I was 16, in a relationship with a coke addict and an alcoholic. He was awful. He was awful. Like, as obvious, as awful that you could get, that's exactly, like, movie style, horrendous, terrible, okay? This man has, by the way, give you some side tea, this man has grown up to become a scammer, and he has a travel agency in Spain. And now he just scams people for a living for, like, plane tickets. I found out about this, okay? Hope to God he's not watching because I fear him. I'm afraid, okay? But whatever. The point is, when I was in a relationship with him, I didn't love him. I don't think I loved this guy. There are people that I have loved that I try to save anyway, but I could tell that I was like, oh, this guy has so many problems, and if only he could just quit cocaine, everything could be so much better, because, you know, blah, 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 blah. And I thought that if I just, you know, really told him so many times, and I showed him the effects of his cocaine addiction, that he would be able to tell. It's been 17, 18, 19. It's been 10 years, okay? It's been 10 years, and this bitch is scamming people in Spain, okay? I have too much faith in people. Demasiado, okay? And that was a year and a half of my life of me trying to help somebody and trying to save somebody from the choices that at the end of the day, they decided was their life and what they wanted for their life. Like, I could disagree with it, but my disagreement with it actually should have just meant, okay, I can't have you in my life if you're doing these stupid fucking shenanigans, right? You can tell people, you can uplift people, you can be there for people when they need you, but you can't force, and you shouldn't, because depending on the situation, it makes it about you, almost, and it makes it forcing people to see something that maybe they already see, and they just, sometimes you see the pattern and then you don't, and you can tell that you're doing it, and you just need to, you know, don't let it become cruel, right? People learn things at their own pace, and sometimes that takes years or never. But at least for me, I'm realizing by the way, affects every part of my life. It's not just like one facet where I'm like, oh, like, I want to save this person because of this thing. No, I'm out here trying to fix everybody else's problems. And it's so draining for me. And it's, when the fuck did I become the mother of the world? Sorry, bro. I'm not, zero intention right now of being anywhere near anybody's mom, okay? I should be momming myself. And this is what I'm doing right now, is I am. This is what that is, right? But it can be cruel, the attempt at fixing people, because it's like maybe this thing where you think that you know what's best for them. It's arrogant. It could be arrogant. It could make other people feel like you feel more than they are. Like you feel like you're better than them, or it could make people feel small. It could make so many things. But the point is that it's super, super, super draining. And don't even fucking pretend like you don't already have a million things to be worrying about for yourself. Right? Where's the line and the difference between I'm trying to save you from yourself because I want you to do great, or I'm actually here for you and support you, whatever you need, and I'm here to tell you the truth. And that's it, you know? Like, I have this one friend. Man, bro. I mean, yeah, I have this one friend who I keep telling, like, man, you should, do this thing. And he's like, no. And I'm like, but you should, because you should, and it would be so good for you. And they're like, no, it wouldn't. And I'm like, but it would. And then I send them resources, and I send them links, and I send them wake up, hello. It's not helpful. It's about me not being able to cope with, I don't know what. I still have to figure that out, right? Hello? I still have to figure that out. Anyway. But yeah. First of all, if you're somebody like me who does this, you gotta find out why you be doing this, girl. Home slice. Why are you doing all that? You're doing too much. Hello? You're doing too much, okay? You're doing way too much. And what are the things that, where could the energy go where you're, like, putting all this energy into other people and, like, I would say helping, but it's not helpful, right? Other people, where can you put that into your own life, right? You're looking over, you're like the neighbor who's, like, looking over the barda, I don't know how you say that in English, the fence, and you're like, hey, if you put fertilizer on your grass, your grass would grow greener, and you could have the nicest garden if you would just plant these flowers. And meanwhile, they're like, oh yeah, but I can't afford a fertilizer. And you're like, well, here's, like, all the jobs that you can get to, like, afford a fertilizer. They're like, I don't even know if I want a garden. I don't even know if I want to live in this house. But you should live in this house because this house is real nice, and look at your prospects, and look at, we've got this and this and this and this. Meanwhile, that other person's dealing with a whole mountain of things. And meanwhile, your grass is drying out, bitch. Your grass is ass, okay? Your grass is turning brown, right? And then when somebody comes and tells you, like, yo, your grass is turning brown, you could water it, it would be green. You're like, I can't water my own grass because I'm so worried about this motherfucker. He's not growing any grass. He got all these holes in his yard, and he needs help before I could even start managing my own landscape. You in the plane commercial, brother, you're the guy, you're the mom, okay? You're the whoever person who's, like, sitting next to people, and you're putting on everybody's whatever oxygen masks before you, and then you end up being like, I don't know why I feel this way. Why do I feel this way? Why can't you bitches listen to me? All right. It's like all the oxygen masks came on, and some people don't want to put on their masks, and you're, like, wasting all your oxygen being like, put on your mask, put on your mask. And maybe they want to die. Fucking, but you're going to die with them. Not everybody wants to go where you're going. Oh, huge lesson for me. And that's been a recurring theme my entire life. Oh my God, I'm finally glad I can see it. I see it so clearly now. Thank you, Benita. Oh my God, therapy's awesome, bro. It's like everything that you can see. It's like everything that you can see, you think that you see things so clearly, and sometimes you catch glimpses of like the back of your head if you like really look at reflective surfaces, but it's really hard to get a full picture. And then a therapist who's smart, like a good one, don't go around finding like stupid therapists, bro. I've had multiple of those and they make your life a living hell. But like a smart therapist, you just take a picture of the back of your head and just be like, and you go, what? I always knew that was there, but I didn't know, they're like, oh, here, like, you have lice here and here and here. You can see that they've made a burrow there, and there's a nest right there, and the lice are eating your scalp. Yeah, and not to worry. All you have to do is buy some mayonnaise in a plastic bag and cover your head in mayonnaise and then suffocate the lice. And you go, oh, that's why I was so itchy this whole time. You mean I thought I had eczema? I got the eczema cream. I tried on all these different showers, and the whole time it was lice. Thank you. Wow, truly. Hey, man, you can't save people that don't want to be saved. That applies to drug addicts as well. I'm reading this play called People, Places, and Things. Well, I would love to put it up, but knock on wood, I don't. I'm superstitious about sharing that. But when you're talking to an addict, right, and they say like, because I've been watching this, reading this play and like thinking about putting it up, I've been watching a lot, and also I had an audition for this like drug addict girl. I had been watching a lot of like Soft White Underbelly, right? There's this one girl who's like trans, her name is Rebecca, and she's like this used to be like this Egyptian prince, and used to be loaded as fuck, and it's like, they're like, sorry guys, she was super loaded and extremely highly educated. Like the amount of resources that this chick has, and like references, like cultural references about cinema and literature and like Egyptian and like history, and the humor is just like bow 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 on meth. It's just a crack addict, bro. Crackhead in Skid Row, like suffering. And everybody's saying like, well, if you could just do this, if you just got clean, like you have so much potential for your life. Like if you could just get clean, you would be amazing. And she's like, you don't understand. Like, I like to be high. I like this lifestyle. And they're saying it and we're not hearing it. Rebecca likes to be on drugs. Rebecca lived the great life, okay? Lived the riches, and for whatever reason, she romanticizes her own death and her own downfall. And it's heartbreaking to watch. But not every story is a comedy. Sometimes we watch tragedies, and sometimes people are living out their own tragedies and they have their own validity. They're like, I know I'm writing a tragedy. Let me write my tragedy. It's a good story to tell. I disagree. I would love for this to turn into a comedy sometime. I would love to see a happy ending for you, brother. And they're like, no. That's not what this movie is, brother. And we don't want to hear it. People tell us and we don't hear, right? She says, like, no, I like to be on drugs. I like partying. That's what I like, right? As long as that's the narrative when you're talking to an addict, or yeah, you can try to reason with people, but to what degree, right? You can't make people see something. You can't force people to see anything until they feel ready to see it. And that is a Buddhist thing that I have a lot of trouble with, of like, yeah, you can tell people the truth, but telling people the truth before they're ready to hear it could be cruelty, or telling people the truth in a way that they can't hear it is cruel in and of itself. And or, you know, it just goes on and on and on. It goes on and on and on. And yeah, sometimes people do see it, and for whatever reason, even if you say, like, this is such an obvious mistake, there's this line in the movie Poor Things by Yorgos Lanthimos where she says, okay, but I think this time it will be different. Sometimes people think that this time, if they do this thing, it will be different, right? Probably not, bro. But, you know, let life, if we learned from warnings, if human beings were wired to learn from warnings, we would be miles ahead in civilization, bro. Like, oh God. By the way, if anybody's watching this and they think that I'm talking about them, I promise you, I'm thinking about myself, generally speaking, about all of the dynamics that I have in my life. And, like, this is a pattern that I repeat in all of my relationships, because I can easily see perhaps a family member or something thinking that it's about them, but in part and mostly it's about me, okay? For once! Fuck! If people actually learned from the advice of books, right? We have generations and generations and generations of people telling us, like, their own epiphanies and how they have figured things out. If we had listened, if we were capable of listening and not just purely learning from experience, we would be miles ahead. But think about all the people who learn from, who just don't do things because somebody told them not to do it. Some of the lamest motherfuckers on earth, bro, you know? Let people live through their disasters. Let people live through their disasters, and then you can be there and try so hard to not be like, I told you so. It's so difficult, but, you know, that's vicious. It's like not nice, right? Because you're assuming that you're smarter than them, when really you can be like an extremely smart individual, because if somebody could do that, somebody could say that to you anyway as well. Because of course you have patterns in your life that you repeat as well, albeit perhaps maybe less devastating, but okay. You know, we're not going to get into judgments here today. Awareness without judgment. Big theater quote. The Buddhists talk about that as well. I'm not even a Buddhist, but there's a lot in there that helps. Yeah. People learn mainly from experience. Everybody's opinions are usually rooted more so in their experiences than everybody's opinions are usually experiential rather than based on logic most of the time. Like, I was in Washington Square Park yesterday, and there was this guy who was holding up a sign that said, like, men's mental health or whatever. And I was like, oh my God, I would fucking love to talk about that, because I think about that a lot. Like, I've been thinking about, I was writing a paper like 2 years ago or something. 1 year ago? Math. A year and a half ago or something. About the manosphere and like how divine femininity and divine masculinity is like purposing of just the like patriarchal thinking and how it's destroying lives and relationships. And I was reading The Will to Change by Bell Hooks, and I was talking to them about that. And one of the guys said, like, yeah. I was saying, like, when women say, oh, we hate men, it's not that we hate men, it's that we're responding to our own fear, right? It's like a self-protective method. And he said, like, oh, yeah, I have this friend who says, oh, I hate women, even though there's no statistical reason why. Like, there's no logical explanation, like, you should just hate all women. You should just hate all women just because whatever, right? And then he was explaining, like, this guy had a terrible relationship with his mom, like, got cheated on a bunch of times in, like, different relationships, like, his aunt would, like, fuck them up or whatever, and so he doesn't just trust women, and that kind of set him into the manosphere, but it all of that hate is rooted in this fear, and he didn't ever start to change his mind until his experiences started to change. The real power is when you can acknowledge, like, maybe when you can become aware of, maybe I keep having these experiences because I have this belief and I'm looking for proof to back it up so that I can feel smart about it, right? But some people, it takes, a village who can see to, like, of proof, just proof, experiential proof, to change somebody's mind. So, and it's the same with politics too. Like, if you're getting into a political debate and you're trying to solve all the flaws that they have in their arguments, this has been so useful to me as well with, like, veganism, for example. If you're trying to solve somebody's limiting perspectives, horrible, stupid fucking perspectives, dummy perspectives about politics through force, you're not gonna get anywhere. You can give them statistics, you can give them book recommendations, you can give them the most well-argumented, is that how you say it? Like, bien argumentados, like, best, like, great arguments. Sometimes you'll get through to people if they're open, but if you see that they're closed off and you're like, no. You have to understand, people believe what they believe, most likely because they've had a personal experience and they fear something and they believe that fear is, and that thing that they're saying is what's going to keep them safe. You know what I mean? And it sounds like I'm making excuses for people. Like, you could be like, no, well, it's not about making excuses. It's, number one, if you can see this, you can believe in self-improvement. You can believe that our society could get better because you're seeing that even though it is some things are systemic issues, people are experiencing them in an individual, very specific way. So if you can find the specificity of the issue and just plant a seed of proof against this one thing, most likely that's much better and more beneficial to somebody to help them come to terms with that thing on their own than to make people feel like idiots because they haven't figured it out yet, right? Like, idiots were like evil human beings or la-di-da, right? It's, number one, it's just inefficient. Like, this is a method that liberals use a lot, which is just like shaming and forcing and statistics and it makes the whole thing boring and impossible to listen to. And Republicans are really good at gaining mass followings because they appeal to the emotions rather than to they appeal to your emotional world. They appeal to your fears. And that, people respond to that. And to believe that half of the country is just a bunch of evil people, number one, means there's no way out of this. But if you can be wise enough to understand there is a way out, it's just the way out is... I can't talk about all that. That's a way different fucking video. But you know what I mean? Plant a seed, or you know what? Not even. Give them a seed. Hey, this is a seed I bought. This is your garden. You can do whatever you want with it. This is the seed I have. These are the fruits that can come with it. You decide if you want to plant it or not. You decide if you want to water it or not. These are the benefits. You decide if you... This kind of tomato would give you free healthcare. You decide if you want to plant it or not, right? And then focus on what can I do? Where can I control? Where can I actually help, right? And it's the same in relationships. It's the same in friendships. It's the same with family. It's the same with everything. It's everywhere, bro. Benita. Great job. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you guys. Have a great day.